like I said the other day, Photoshop is image editing software that is used to edit images. Okay, but it can do more than just images. If you want to create other vector graphics, you can use Photoshop to do that. Now, first of all, to launch, when you open it and then you want to start, you click on the create new. Over here you can see the create new over here. So when I click on the create new, so from here you will see, here is where you set up your page. So by default, these are the default page sizes that we can choose from. So from here we just maintain everything. By default, this is the background color, which will be white. If you don't like the background color and then you want to change to a different color, you can change it before you start by clicking this one, the white color over here. When you click on it, you will see this, and then you can change the colors from here, the color that you want. So assuming I don't want to use the white background, then I can choose something like this, click OK. You can also click on the drop down arrow and then you see other background. We have white, black, depending on what you want. And then you leave everything by default, and then you click on create. So when I click on create, now this is my page setup. So over here, this is where I'm going to do all the necessary designs that I'm going to do. So for instance, if I want to draw a shape, then I will go to the shape tool over here. This is the rectangular shape tool. I'll click on it, come here, click and drag like this to draw a rectangle. So when you draw a rectangle, you see that these properties for the rectangle will appear, where I can, by default, when you draw something, it comes with it fills in already for you with a black color. So if I want to change this color, then I can click here and then change the color to any color that I want, like this. If I don't want any color inside, then I'll click on the no fill or no color. Then if I want to apply another color like the pattern fill, which is similar to gradient, I can choose the pattern fill like this. This is a pattern fill. Even with the pattern fill, you can still change the color. So if I don't want the red, I click here and change it to something like this. And this one too, I can change this one. Then I'll have something like this. So this is what I have. Now with the same thing over here, we also have the texture over here. So with the texture, this is what you are going to see. So if I want to apply this, you'll be able to see it. Alright, so if I want to let me select the no fill, apply this color to it. If I want to change the outline color to, we have the fill and then the stroke. Over here we don't call them outline, we call them stroke. So you click on the stroke and then I can change the color for the stroke or the outline. If I feel like the outline is too big, I can click here to either decrease the size or increase the size to how I want it to be like. And then with the outlines we have options over here. This one, the set shape stroke type. So if I want it in dashes, I'll click on the dashes, and then we have this one too as well, where you can click to now. If I want to change the background color, you realize that the background is locked. So if you want to change the color, it's very difficult for you to change the color. So you have to unlock it first. So to unlock it, you click on this padlock over here, and then it will unlock it. So then unlock it, then I can then select it. I can then select it like this. Click, maybe I want the white background, so I can click on it. When I click on the white background from the swatches over here, it won't automatically fill it. So to fill it, I'll use Control Backspace. Alright, so let us continue. Now in Photoshop we deal with layers. Unlike CorelDRAW, when you draw something, you can then draw another thing and another thing and another thing. Like in Photoshop, when I draw something like this one, it comes with a layer, and then when I draw another one, it also comes with a layer. When I draw something like this one, it also comes with a layer, and so on and so forth. So there are some instances where when you draw, it will come with automatic layers. These are the layers. So when you draw all objects on one layer, it is very difficult to have access to them. When you draw objects, mostly when you draw these objects, it comes with its layer. So when I draw this, it will come with a layer. Draw this, comes with another layer. Draw this, comes with another layer. Come here, draw something like this one, will also come with its layer. But like I said, there are some instances where when you draw, it won't come with a layer. So you have to create the layer so that you'll be able to have access to them. So to create a layer, we have the option down here, the layer option over here. So you click on it like this. So when you create a layer, nothing will appear in it, and then when you see this sign on the layer, you see the layer 1, we have, it looks like draft box. It means that that layer doesn't have anything. It doesn't even have a background. So any object that you see with these things means that that object does not have a background. So now from here I can then draw my object like this. Especially if you are dealing with pictures. For pictures, if you are dealing with pictures, then that means that you have to be creating layers. Because when you are formatting pictures, you need more layers. For instance, you need a layer to write something. If you want to write something, you need another layer to do another thing, so that when you are done and then you want to have access to each and every one, you just click on the layer to have access to. Other than that, how do you do it? Control R. Okay. So please, Photoshop and CorelDRAW are two different things. Some of the Photoshop and CorelDRAW are two different things, but they have some similarities and others are different. So if you want to insert a picture, over here is different from CorelDRAW. So if you want to insert a picture over here, you use what? Control O. Control O2, and then you go to where your pictures are from here. So assuming I want to insert this particular picture, I can click on it and click on open. So when I click on alright, let's it will rather allow you to import other frames and stuff like, and you should see place. Let me see if it is this one. Okay, yes. So over here, assuming that this page, I want to put a picture over here direct, unlike the way we use the Control O then. So I'll go to file, and then I'll go to place link, for instance. So place link will open this one for me, and then if I want to use this one, I can click on it, click on place, and then that one will fall or will appear on the page for me. So anytime in Photoshop, anytime you insert a picture using the place, then you have to press, everything will be clear for you. Please, are we okay? Any question? So we are going to look at something called selection. We have two different pictures that we are going to use it for. Assuming that this is my page, and then I want to use this picture on it, but I don't want this background. Okay, this one is white, so it can go on this one. Assuming that we want to use this one, this picture, and then we want to add this one to it, but we don't want this background, the white background, because right now when I move this picture onto this side, you realize that the background doesn't make it look nice. So I'm going to do all of them today. We are doing it step by step. So today we are going to look at one of them. Alright, so there is a tool called the quick selection tool. Here is it. That is the fourth tool right here. So what we are doing right now, you realize that what we are for today, we are learning how to remove just a solid background. When I talk of a solid background, a uniform background, you see this one is white throughout. When you are moving a background which has separate colors, that one is also a different way to do that. But today we are going to learn how to move a solid background. Please, are you okay? So to do that, there is a tool called the quick selection. Are we there? Okay. Now you realize that we have some here that we have to add to it, but when you look at this option over here, you realize that new selection, we have add selection, and then we have subtract selection. If right now yours is at the new selection, and then you click here to drag, it will select here and deselect this side. You realize? So if I want to select here, now that I've selected here, I want to add this one, and then I'll be able to delete it. So I'll make sure I click on the add selection, and then click, and then click and drag. So once you are done with everything like this, and then you press the delete on the keyboard, and then you see something like this, content aware, and then you leave everything as it is, and then you click, it will process, and then it will then remove the background for you. Okay, now when you face something like this, let's try to. Now when you face something like this, there's another, you see, instead of it removing the background, this is what we have. This is also another issue, so we can undo. Now when you face something like that, means that you first have to unlock the, you see, this one is an image that we, yes, the Control Z. If you want to do Control Z. So if I want to remove this one without any problem, then I have to unlock it first. When I unlock it and then from here I press the delete key, it will easily remove the background for me. Please are we done? Are we done? Okay. Now to go back. Please are we done? Now another way is that you can also click and hold where the quick selection tool, and then you can select the second one, which is the magic 1 tool. So that is another tool that we use to remove the background. So I'm saying that if you want to, another way to remove is that you can use the magic 1 tool. The first one that we used was the quick selection. So when you click and hold the quick selection, another tool over there is magic 1 tool. So when I click on it, then I will move. Alright, so we want to use this particular picture and then the background, but the only thing is we don't want this particular one. We don't want this one to be here. So we can use what we call the lasso tool. We also have something called lasso tool, a tool called lasso tool. So this is the lasso tool. So when I click, I can click on this one. So the only thing that I will do over here, now all the things that we are doing works when you have a uniform background. So I want to remove this one. I then the selection, and then you press the delete. This time around you don't even have to unlock it. From here you just have to press the delete key, and then you click on OK over here. So first of all, you select your lasso tool and then you click and then drag. Let me add this one to it. Click and drag to select it like this, and then you press the delete key. You see the content away. So not only the Polygonal lasso tool is used to remove this one. You can also use the delete this one. Very cool. So now we want to bring this image to the other side. So I'll click on the pick tool or the move tool and then click inside. Just click inside and then drag, and then make sure that it touches the tab of the one that you want, and then you come and then you leave it. Now this one we want to increase it. When we have it like this, it doesn't look real. It doesn't, somebody will see that this one is edited. So for you to carry that. Now I want this image to be the same level as this one. I realize that when I'm doing it just like that, it will be very difficult for me to get the same size as this one. So I will introduce the ruler. I realize that the ruler is not displayed over here. Anytime you want to if you want to use the ruler and the ruler is not displayed here, that means that it's hidden. So to bring it, you have to click on the view and then you see ruler over here. So you just click on it and then you see your ruler here, both the vertical side and then the horizontal side. So I can click on it and then this one will not snap to this one perfectly well. Something, first of all, off the mouse first before the keyboard. Off the mouse of the keyboard and then you hit enter. If I want to now this one, when we use the either the quick magic one, you realize that it will select the whole thing, which makes it very difficult for you to remove the background. If I use the quick selection to the same thing, if you are using the quick selection, this is what you are supposed to do. Now when I click and drag this side, you realize that it's doing perfect work for me. So let's see. But as you are doing this, make sure that it's on add selection. If it is not on add selection, when you select another, after selecting this one, then I select another one, it will deselect this one. So for instance, when it's on the new selection and then I select here, it will deselect that one. So always make sure that it's on add selection and then you do your selection. You see, when you select and then you see the selection on all of them like this, you click and drag on the edges. With this one you have to be doing it patiently. Okay. If you feel like the lasso tool is too difficult for you, then you can also use the polygonal lasso tool, which is the second tool. So when I click on it, for this one, when I click here, I can then, for this one you don't have to click and drag. You click, you move, you click, you move, and then you don't have to drag it a long way before you click. You just have to do it step by step. So this one you need time. It needs time for you to, but to get a perfect work, you have to also create this one. So you need a time. So let me fast forward it. So once you are done with everything, then you can unlock it, press the delete key to press the delete key to remove. Are you okay? Now let's quickly look at one or two. We're done with this one. Let's say we are done with this one. If you have an image like this one too, if you have an image like this, This one, can we remove this one, or we can't? We can, which will not distort anything. Okay, so let's try. So which tool will be best for this? The lasso tool. So let's try if the lasso tool will work. So I can play. And press delete. Okay. Zoom it so that you see. So you see the reason why you see that this one is not a uniform background. This one is a mixed background, but because of how the nature of how the background is, so it's able to detect where. See how this one is. So when I yes, you can use the. You can also use the rectangular marquee tool. Click, and then you select it like this. You press delete. It will also delete. Wow. Okay. Let's look at this. What about this one? Can it be done? You can. Which two? The lasso two or the magic two? This one, it won't be possible. For instance, for this one there will be a problem. So when I click and then drag to select it like this, yes, it's selected. But when I press the delete key and then the content awareness comes and then I click OK, this thing wasn't there. You see how this one is. So when I use this one, although it did a perfect work for us, close to perfect. Yeah, but you realize that these ones are also crooked somewhere. So although we got, assuming you can also use the clone stamp tool, but that one too needs a little bit of work. For instance, when I come here somewhere here, you have to hold the alt in it throughout. So you see the nature of this color here and here is different. So I have to come, click on the alt key again and select this side, and then now I can claim alt key, and then so this one also you need time to be doing this, otherwise so you have to be cleaning it.
About the lasso tool or the rectangular
marquee tool.
So when you use it for this and you get the background problems with the background, then you need to fix it back. Because it says when you do it, when you do it, the lines that you get. So can you straighten up the line yourself? Or?
Yeah, you can do that. Like you can use the. That is why I'm saying that if you use this one, then for that one is already crooked. So for the clone stamp tool, you can use that one. So with that one, when you are cleaning, because that one also needs time. But when you use that one, it won't shift anything. It will delete it straight for you. So the only thing is that you have to make a clone. You have to copy some part of it and then you use it. So as you are deleting, it will be deleting it perfectly well for you. But if you use the marquee 2, it will also delete it, but when it shifted, then that means you have to also go back and use the clone stamp tool to delete it. For instance, when I select the whole thing like this, when I select the whole thing like this and press delete and delete it, okay, this one I was able to get it perfect, and then I'll then be clicking on this line to,
You hold the alt key.
yes, to